Welcome back, my dear viewers. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you join us for today's video, where we'll be indulging in a delightful Italian dinner. Una cena italiana, as our Italian friends would say. In the spirit of cherished moments with loved ones, I've created a guide to hosting an authentic Italian dinner. With these recipes and tips, you'll craft the perfect gathering filled with the essence of Italian hospitality and bold, flavorful dishes that celebrate Italy's rich culinary heritage. Stick around for surprise ideas and more fun at the end. For the main menu, I love featuring traditional Italian dishes like homemade pasta. To begin, place 2 cups of 00 flour and half a cup of semolina flour on your clean surface. Make a well in the middle and crack 4 eggs inside. That's it. No salt, no oil. Be sure to use the highest quality free-range eggs you can find. Whisk the eggs gently with a fork and gradually incorporating the flour until it starts to come together into a rough dough. I like to use a food scraper, which helps combine the egg with the flour perfectly. When most of the egg is incorporated, use your hands to gather the dough into a bowl. Now knead it for about 10 minutes until it's smooth and elastic. The dough should feel soft and pliable. To test it, gently press your thumb into the dough, and if it springs back, it's perfect. Wrap it in plastic and let it rest for 30 minutes at room temperature. No fridge needed. Once rested, it's time to roll it out. Cut the dough in half to make it easier to work with, then flatten it with your palm so it fits through the first setting of your pasta machine, usually the widest setting, which is number 0. If you don't have a pasta machine attachment yet, I highly recommend getting one. It makes life so much easier. Pass the dough through the widest setting once, then fold one side over the other. Flatten it with your palm again and pass it through the widest setting again. Do this step 4 times. It's crucial to get that perfect smooth texture. Then begin passing the dough through each setting from widest to thinnest until you reach your desired thickness. Make sure to dust more flour as needed on your pasta sheets, brushing off the excess. Repeat the process with the remaining dough. Since I'm making a double batch, by the end there's pasta all over my kitchen. I absolutely love making pasta with my girls. It is such a beautiful tradition. Plus, it's incredibly therapeutic and satisfying. Making pasta at home is simpler than it seems and absolutely worth the effort. Once you try it, you'll taste the difference. When done, switch to the Alfredo pasta attachment and cut the sheets to about 16 inches long. Any longer and you'll never make it to the end, or as my mom likes to joke, one end will be in your mouth and the other one will already be in your tummy. Pass the pasta sheets through the Alfredo attachment and voila, your fresh pasta is ready. Cook immediately in salted boiling water for no more than 4 minutes. Or if prepping ahead for a larger gathering, hang the pasta on a bamboo rack to dry. This saves counter space, prevents sticking, and it's perfect for prepping a day in advance. If you do prep ahead, handle the pasta gently, as it may become fragile, but it will still taste delicious when cooked just before serving. No Italian dinner is complete without fresh Italian bread on the table. This overnight focaccia is incredibly easy, delicious, and wonderfully fluffy. A perfect addition, especially when serving soup as your first course. The day before your gathering, begin by making the dough. In a bowl, combine 420 ml of warm water, 2 1/4 teaspoons of instant yeast or 1 packet, and 2 tablespoons of honey. Whisk to dissolve, then add 500 grams of 00 flour, 1 tablespoon of salt, and 3 tablespoons of olive oil. Use a spatula to scrape down the sides of the bowl, then cover and let the dough rest for 10 minutes. Next, wet your hands and begin the first series of stretch and folds. Stretch and fold the dough 4 times while rotating the bowl, then cover and let it rest for another 10 minutes. This process helps build the dough structure. After the second rest, repeat the stretch and fold process once more, keeping your hands wet at all times. You'll complete 3 series of stretch and folds with 10 minutes rests in between. Once done, place the dough smooth side up in the bowl, drizzle with a little more olive oil, cover with plastic wrap, and place in the fridge overnight. We'll come back to it tomorrow. If you've ever craved the creamy, hearty goodness of Olive Garden's chicken gnocchi soup, you are in for a treat. This simple one-pot recipe brings the rich flavors of the classic dish right into your home. I always love to prepare my ingredients ahead of time. Once that's done, the cooking process is quick and easy. In a large soup pot, melt 2 tablespoons of butter with 1 tablespoon of olive oil to create a rich base. Add the thinly diced onion, julienned carrots, and 1 cup of diced celery. Sweat the vegetables for 2 to 3 minutes while you shred your pre-cooked chicken thighs. I prefer using chicken thighs in this soup rather than chicken breasts, as they absorb more flavor and stay juicier. Once your veggies have softened, add 2 minced garlic cloves. This will bring aromatic depth to your soup. Season with 2 teaspoons of salt and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. For thickening, sprinkle in a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour and cook for about a minute to form a roux. Gradually pour in 8 cups of chicken broth to avoid lumps. Add 2 cups of shredded or diced chicken along with 1 pound of potato gnocchi. Now let the soup simmer for 5 to 7 minutes or until the gnocchi are tender and have absorbed the delicious flavors of the broth. I like to skim off any foam or residue to ensure a clean broth. At this point, stir in a 1/3 cup of freshly grated Parmesan cheese, add 1 cup of fresh chopped spinach, and cook for an additional 1 to 2 minutes until the spinach wilts into the soup, adding a burst of green and freshness. Optionally, I like to remove the stems from the spinach, but this is purely a personal preference. Next, pour in 2 cups of heavy cream, whisking it slowly to create a creamy, velvety base. Now let the soup simmer for another 5 to 7 minutes, stirring occasionally to blend the flavors. Be sure to taste and adjust the seasoning to your liking, but honestly, this soup is already perfect. It's so delicious, comforting, and much better than the Olive Garden version. It's also great for make-ahead, as the flavors marry beautifully overnight. Next on the menu are everyone's beloved arancini. Arancini are golden, crispy rice balls that are a true delight. With a crunchy exterior and a creamy, cheesy center, they're beloved by both children and adults. To start, you'll need 1 medium onion, thinly diced, and 8 ounces of turkey bacon or ham. In a Dutch oven or heavy bottom pot, heat 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter over a medium-high heat. Once it's hot, stir in the diced onion and saute until soft and golden, about 4 minutes. Next, add 1 cup of finely diced ham or turkey bacon for a twist and cook for an additional 2 minutes until golden. Stir in 2 cups of arborio rice and coat the rice with the oil and butter. Now pour in 1 cup of dry white wine, such as Chardonnay, and cook until most of the wine evaporates, about 2 minutes. Then add 5 cups of hot chicken broth, 1 teaspoon of salt, and a pinch of freshly ground black pepper. Bring to a boil, then cover the pot and let it simmer until the liquid has been absorbed by the rice. After 15 minutes, open the lid and stir in 1 cup of frozen peas and cook for another 2 minutes. The rice should be soft and most of the liquid should be absorbed. Add the pre-shredded 1 cup of Parmesan cheese and mix well. Spread the rice mixture onto a large rimmed baking sheet and mix in a 1/3 cup of freshly chopped parsley. Let it cool at room temperature. This is a never perfect make-ahead dish. I'm transferring the rice mixture in the fridge and will return to it tomorrow morning. Today is the big day, and I started cooking around 9 a.m. to prepare for my dinner party. First on the list were the arancinis. To shape the rice balls, I wet my hands and portioned the rice mixture using an ice cream scoop. Each ball was carefully stuffed with 1/2 inch cube of mozzarella cheese, ensuring the rice sealed tightly around the cheese. I arranged them on a baking sheet and placed them in the fridge for at least 30 minutes. Overnight works even better, to firm up and hold their shape. When ready to fry, set up a breading station with 3 shallow bowls, one with 1 cup of flour, the second with 3 whisked eggs, and the last with 1½ cups of breadcrumbs. Dredge each rice bowl in the flour, then dip it in the eggs, and lastly coat with the breadcrumbs. Heat vegetable oil in a deep pot over medium heat and fry the rice bowls in batches for about 3 minutes, turning them around until golden brown. When done, transfer them on top of paper towels to let any remaining oil drip off. Sprinkle with salt and serve warm. Enjoy these crispy on the outside and creamy and delicious Italian treats. Nothing says Italian quite like eggplant rollatinis. These garlic and cheese stuffed eggplant rolls may seem simple, but they're bursting with flavor from the very first bite. For the filling, you'll need 1 pack of cream cheese or whipped cream cheese, which is my personal favorite. Combine it with 2/3 cup of finely minced walnuts or pecans, salt and pepper to taste, 3 minced garlic cloves, and freshly chopped parsley. Thoroughly mix the ingredients and set it aside. You can prepare this filling a day in advance and store it in the fridge for convenience. Now begin by slicing 1 eggplant vertically into thin slices. Season with salt and pepper and set aside. Set up 2 bowls, one with 3 whisked eggs, and one with 1 cup of flour. Season it with salt and pepper and dredge each eggplant slice in the egg mixture, then dip it into the flour, shaking off any excess. Repeat this process with the remaining slices. In a pan, heat a drizzle of olive oil over medium heat and fry the eggplant slices until golden and tender. Once cooked, remove from the pan and lay them flat on a surface to cool slightly. Now proceed with stuffing each slice with the garlic and cream cheese filling. Eggplant rollatini is a comforting flavor side dish that brings the essence of Italy straight to your table. This is the perfect time to take the focaccia dough out of the fridge and let it rise at room temperature. Just look at that adorable bubble, I love it. Line a deep baking pan with parchment paper and drizzle it generously with olive oil. Transfer the dough into the pan and with oiled hands, fold the dough into a burrito-like shape and gently slide it lengthwise into the pan, flipping it so the smooth side faces up. Cover and let it proof for about 2 hours. Once it has proofed, drizzle more olive oil on top and get ready to dimple. This part is so therapeutic and satisfying. You can add toppings like olives, cherry tomatoes, or fresh rosemary. Just make sure you oil your rosemary so it doesn't burn. Now this is a must. Sprinkle with flaky sea salt to finish. And drizzle with more olive oil on top. Bake at 430 degrees Fahrenheit for 20 to 25 minutes, placing it on the lowest rack of your oven so the bottom gets nice and crispy. When done, transfer it to a wire rack to cool at room temperature. A main dish like chicken cacciatore is a classic favorite that always impresses. You can never go wrong with this chicken dish bursting with rich Italian flavors. To begin, combine 1 cup of all-purpose flour with a pinch of salt and freshly ground black pepper on a large plate. Dredge the chicken pieces in the flour, ensuring each piece is evenly coated. For this dish, I highly recommend using chicken drumsticks or thighs, keeping the skin and bone for extra flavor. Heat 2 to 3 tablespoons of highly quality olive oil in a large, heavy bottom pot over medium heat. Brown the chicken legs and thighs on all sides until beautifully golden. While the chicken is cooking, I like to prep the remaining ingredients. Once browned, remove the chicken from the pot and set it aside, allowing it to rest. In the same pot, add the diced onions and cook them gently until they turn a rich golden brown. Add the sliced bell peppers and sweat them for a few minutes, allowing their natural sweetness to release. Season generously with 2 teaspoons of salt and 1 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper to enhance the flavors. Next, mince 4 garlic cloves, adding them to the pot to infuse the dish with aromatic depth. For an added layer of complexity, consider adding half a teaspoon of smoked paprika and 1 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. This will give the dish a warm, smoky essence. Stir in 1 tablespoon of tomato paste and cook it for a minute or 2 to deepen its flavor. Finally, add 2 cups of vibrant cherry tomatoes, letting them soften and burst into a beautiful fragrant sauce. Now add 1 can of chopped San Marzano tomatoes, which bring a delightful sweetness and depth. Pour in 2 cups of dry red wine, and a Chianti Classico is an excellent choice for this dish, and bring the mixture to a boil. Let the wine reduce for 4 to 5 minutes, allowing the flavors to concentrate. Next, pour in the chicken stock and bring everything to a simmer. Skim off any foam that rises to the surface and discard it. Return the brown chicken pieces to the pot, ensuring they're nestled into the sauce. Cover the pot with a lid, transfer it to the oven, and bake at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 hour and a half, or until the chicken is tender and the meat easily falls off the bone. When done, add the olives and the capers and let it simmer on the lowest heat for 15 minutes, keeping it warm before serving. While the chicken is baking in the oven, let's tackle the best part of our menu, the dessert. For today's Italian dinner, we're making cannolis, which are a beloved staple of Sicilian cuisine, cherished for generations. The combination of a crispy shell and creamy ricotta filling makes them a truly special dessert. Now let's talk about the cannoli shells. While I have a great recipe for homemade cannoli shells, I've also discovered a fantastic Amazon purchase option. These cannoli shells made in Italy are wonderfully crispy, beautifully packaged, and never broken, an absolute lifesaver when you're short on time. Now, the key to achieving the perfect cannoli filling is a simple step that you must not skip. Strain your ricotta. Place it in a fine mesh sieve or a cheesecloth and let it drain overnight. This step is crucial. If you skip it, the filling will be too watery and your cannoli will end up soggy, which is a definite no. Once the ricotta is well drained, add it to a medium bowl along with mascarpone and powdered sugar. The mascarpone adds an extra layer of creaminess and a rich flavor that takes the filling to the next level. Make sure to add a splash of vanilla extract as well. Gently mix everything with a spatula until smooth, and voila, your filling is ready. Use the spatula to transfer the mixture into a pastry bag, then snip the tip to create a 1-inch opening. Pipe the filling into each cannoli shell. For a finishing touch, dip the ends into chopped roasted pistachios on one side and chocolate chips on the other side. Refrigerate the filled cannoli until ready to serve and pair with a sweet dessert wine. A quick last appetizer is this grilled zucchini with feta and toasted pine nuts that brings together fresh, vibrant Italian flavors. Slice the zucchinis on the diagonal, about ½ an inch thick. Fry or grill for 2 to 3 minutes per side until the zucchini is just tender and has beautiful grill marks. Once cooked, transfer the zucchini to a tray to cool slightly. Arrange on a platter topped with crumbled feta and toasted pine nuts. Serve immediately while the zucchini is still warm. For aperitivo, we have a variety of olives, stuffed mini bell peppers with cheese, artichokes. These bites complement the dishes that I'm serving and are so vibrant and beautiful at the dinner table. With just 1 hour left before my guests arrive, it's the perfect moment to bring everything together and set the table. About 20 minutes before their arrival, I'll begin boiling the pasta for 4 minutes. Meanwhile, in a separate pan, I'll melt 1 stick of butter, then transfer the pasta directly into the pan, along with some of the cooking water. I'll add a generous amount of Parmesan cheese, stirring to create a smooth, velvety sauce. My food is all ready, filling the air with rich, inviting aromas, just as my Italian gangsters arrive with their beautiful wives. Laughter echoes as I serve cocktails, setting the perfect mood for an unforgettable evening. The table is set, the ambiance is warm, and the night is just beginning. For the table, I use decorative Bohemian-style pasta bowls that add character and charm. Citrus fruits not only bring a vibrant pop of color, but also a refreshing aroma, evoking the essence of Italy and infusing the Mediterranean vibe into the space. An Italian-themed dinner party is all about creating the right ambiance and showcasing authentic flavors. Light candles to set a warm, cozy atmosphere, adding a touch of elegance. Hosting isn't just about food, it's about the experience. Soft music, gentle lighting, and a relaxed vibe allow guests to savor each moment, embracing the Italian tradition of la dolce vita. This evening was truly unforgettable, beautifully surrounded by delicious food, wonderful company, and the timeless charm of Italian music. As the night came to a close, nothing was more magical than dancing to my favorite song, Portofino by Andrea Bocelli, the perfect ending to such a special night.